So when I was in middle/high school, I would often participate and play in the Christmas musical. The first time I enrolled, I was 13 years old. There were these flyers all over school that said there's a Christmas musical. Sign up if you want to play or sing or dance or anything like that. So I was like, yes, I want to both sing and play in the musical. So I signed up for both of that, and I did my audition for singing at first, but the thing is, that was the age that my voice started breaking. So as I was singing Miracle from Cascada, my voice started cracking a lot. So I was like, I'm just nervous, and they were like, you know what, doesn't matter, you can sing in the musical. And I was like, oh yeah. So I came out, I was like, immediately I went to my cousin who was also going to be auditioning for things. I was like, hey, I'm in. So then later on came the auditions for actually playing in the thing. So basically the test audition thing was a girl and a guy, and they were in love, and they were talking about their future and everything like that. So every guy and girl got paired up with each other randomly, and they had to act together and do that scene in front of the drama teacher and everything. The thing is, I was 13 years old, and they matched me up with this girl who was, I'm not even sure, 16 or something. You see, it doesn't really seem like that much of a difference because it's only 3 years, but a 13 versus 16-year-old. So I had to act out with that thing with a girl who was like literally this much taller than me, and I was like, yeah, because I had a very high-pitched voice. I mean, I still kind of do, but it was way worse back then. So we did that scene and everything like that, and there were like 7 people auditioning and 6 roles, or maybe like, basically there was 1 2 little roles, and everyone got 1 except for me, because they were like, yeah, you know what the thing is, you are still so young, because all the others were like older or more suitable for a certain part, and they were like, yeah, there's not really a part we can have you fill, so good luck next year, but you can still sing, remember? So I was like, oh. Okay, fine. I was kind of disappointed, but then again, I was able to participate in it. So me and this other girl, we were gonna be the choir. Since it was kind of a Christmas musical, there were some Christmas elements in there, even though it wasn't really about Christmas. It was more about this girl who got bullied, and her passed away mother was looking over her as a ghost, something like that. I don't even recall fully anymore. Yeah, that was it. So I got a few songs like Silent Night, but in Dutch, and also this one song that the writer of the musical, a dude from my school, made up himself. I still remember the song. Stel je eens voor dat je moet vluchten voordat wat jou toch wel vindt. Stel je eens voor dat je moet vechten in een oorlog die je toch niet wint. There was more of it, but I'm a little hoarse, so it kind of hurts. Yeah. So I was able to sing that song, and my cousin was actually, she could dance in like the dance group, but the thing is, the script happened to be a little too long. So at some point, parts had to be cut, and they were pretty much all parts from me and my cousin, so a lot of dance and a lot of songs were cut. So in the end, I could only sing like 2 songs after rehearsing for 15 weeks, and I was like, but the thing is, it was a lot of fun. So next year, I tried out for a role again, and I was casted for an actual role. I played, get this, Keenan. Okay, yeah. A guy from Kenya who then lived here. They casted me, the person who falls down in snow and is camouflaged, to play a person from Africa. I mean, in the end, it wasn't even important to the story, but I was just like, I'm probably the palest person you could have casted for someone who's written to be native African. But then again, I had a role, I was happy. So I basically played this guy who was friends with the main character, and the main character of the play, he really wanted to get into one of those art schools for piano. He wanted to be like a musician, and he was super good at piano, and he had to try out, but his parents didn't really support it, so he had to go at it secretly, and he had a love interest, and at some point they gave me a scene with a love interest, which was later on cut, because again, things were starting to get cut after rehearsing for 15 weeks, but okay, you know. So I didn't sing that time, but I got to play, which was a lot of fun. There were parts where you're actually in the aisle with the people, and I remember my scene where there were some other guy who played my friend came up, and we had to be like, hey man, and just do this kind of handshake kind of thing, and I just pictured me doing that in real life and being like, that's not really something I would do, but then again, that's acting, you are someone else. And then the year after, I was like, you know what, I'm probably not gonna be doing this again. I may get too busy, because in your 4th year, when you're 15, you get exams. And I was like, okay, you know what, maybe with exams, everything, it would get too busy, okay? Not gonna try out this year. So I didn't try out, and later on, I saw these posters everywhere that were like, we still have 2 roles to fill, please someone try out. And I was like, this is my moment. I have been called for this. So I tried out with 3 other people, so there were like 4 people and 2 people would get a role. And well, I got one of the roles. Because the thing is, at that time, the drama teacher had already taken a liking to me as well, because he thought I was very good. Very good. Fun fact, in Dutch, I act way better than in English, because in English, I still need to think of the things I want to say. And that's why my acting in my sketches is always, in my own opinion, a little... But then again, it's comedy sketches that are purposely... I am good at speaking. So the whole play was kind of a Shakespeare mashup. It was basically all sorts of Shakespeare stories mashed together into a more kind of modern setting, but also not. So basically all of the characters from different stories were in the same story together, and they were related to each other in different ways. For example, I played Prospero, who was Julia's father, but also an evil king who was also a wizard who turned people into donkeys. And his crown was a lampshade. I mean, I don't want to brag, but that just screams me, right? So I was cast to be that role, and I had to play evil and yell at people and had magic, and I was like, this is an awesome role. So at the play itself, they actually gave me like this bunch of confetti in my bucket, which I could throw at someone being like, ha! And then magic, and then, oh my god, that person is now a donkey, and I quickly put on a mask. It was like pretty weird, to be honest, but it was a lot of fun. The thing was, when I got my costume for the first time, they gave me a cape cloak kind of thing, a lampshade on my head as a crown, which I thought looked kind of weird, to be honest, but okay, and some sort of scarf kind of thing, but it was made from very fuzzy pants for in case you want to play like a satyr and you need fuzzy goat legs. Basically, it was this dark brown, big fuzzy pair of pants that I just put around my neck. The thing was, one of the other people that played in it occasionally would steal the legs during rehearsal, like the pants, and he would put them on and run around, and I would be like, anyone seen the scarf? And he would run around in the back like, hee! And I would be like, bring back the pants! And it was just a lot of fun. And every time we had to perform 3 times. On Thursday evening would be for all of the parents, on Friday morning for all of the younger people of school, and the older people on Friday afternoon. So as we performed for the parents, at the end of the show, we all had to bow. So I bowed down, and the lampshade fell off my head and shattered into a lot of pieces. And I was like, oh, oops. So afterwards I was like, yeah, sir, I kind of like completely broke my crown, so what are we gonna do? So he said, don't worry, I'll know another one for tomorrow, because tomorrow was the act in front of the school. So next day I come to school like early, and everyone gets their show makeup on and everything like that. And he's like, here's your new crown. And remember how I said that I thought the lampshade already looked a little weird? This one was like twice its size. It was like this big. If I had it on my head, I had to duck down in order to get through the opening of a door. And on top of that, he actually put a Christmas ornament on there, like it hang from the crown. And I was like, does this Christmas ornament have to be there? And does it have to be that big? And he was like, you know what? You can cut off a part of the shade. It was basically more of a cardboard kind of thing. So you can make it a little lower so you don't have to duck every time you go through a door. And I was like, cool, cool. So I took like one of the box cutters and took it off, and I was like, you know what? I'll also take off the part with the Christmas ornament there. Now the Christmas ornament is gone. I was like, we no longer have the Christmas ornament on there. And there was also this guy I always talked to at the Christmas musical rehearsals and everything, because he also played in it. We shared a lot of common interests. And he was like, that's good, because it looked very weird. I was like, yeah. So a little while later, I see the crown, and suddenly the drama teacher had reattached the Christmas ornament. So I was like, oh my god, it's back. And that other guy was like, I'll fix this. So he took like the crown, he cut it off, and he hid it somewhere in someone's winter hat that was just laying on the table. He was like, we will never see it again. And I was like, thank you. Now I can finally look slightly less ridiculous. I had to play like this powerful evil king wizard, and I couldn't do that with a Christmas ornament on my head. So we went on and we performed, and it was like a lot of fun. But the thing is, my cloak was also on the long side, so at some point I had to duck down and kneel down beside someone, and I had to stand up, but I like slipped because it was so long, and I stepped on it, and I was like, oh no, you can't be dead, you can't be dead. Also, another thing that happened, there was once this time when we played in front of the parents, pretty sure it was my first time when I was 13, and I had to sing something into the microphone. I had like this little part of the solo. We all sang together, but I had this little solo. So I got to the microphone and I forgot my text. So I stood there and I was like, and I literally said into the microphone, oh shit! And everyone started laughing, and for years and years on, they have said, yeah, there was once this guy who swore into the microphone when we were performing. And I was like, yeah, that was me! I remember that! That was me, Quentin! And they were like, oh yeah, I forgot, yeah, that was you! And I was like, yeah, I know. But you know what, I didn't care in the end. And that was the last time I performed in the school musicals. You see, I thought it was a lot of fun, because there was singing and dancing and acting, and I mean, performing and show stuff is just things that I really like, obviously. So yeah, I can't officially say that I once turned a girl who was dressed as a guy playing Romeo into a donkey. Whoa! Hey y'all, Lightfire here. Thank you so much for watching this new storytime video. Please comment down below. Have you ever played in a musical, and what was it like and what was it about? And if you're new here, I would love to have you subscribe to this channel. I post something to get to know each other a little bit better like this on Saturday. And on Wednesday, I post something to solely entertain you, such as a comedy sketch. All of that to let people know that it's awesome and okay to be yourself and to be unique, and you shouldn't let anyone change who you are, because you are perfect the way you are. And if you really want to help me out, please turn on the notifications bell, because YouTube doesn't really push my videos out to my subscribers. But above all, I really hope you like this video, and like I always say, just be unique, you're awesome the way you are.